What's good, everybody? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Grandmaster Troll, here to give you guys some of the best trolling content YouTube has to offer. Shout out to the Reject Army, Nif-Nods, Dishwashers, Bedwetters, the Factors of the Black Order, single women on Valentine's Day, but most importantly, witness the power and the might that is the most dangerous troll on YouTube. I've been away from YouTube in a while. I guess the pandemic is about to be over. I'm in California and we're actually allowed to walk in certain businesses without a mask on. I've been refing all these games and I gotta upload them. And when I'm uploading, I can't go live. And I got a bunch more games to upload. But I had to do this stream tonight. I just had to do the stream tonight. I was at work and I saw one by the name BGS IBMOR got cooked by two particular individuals of the masculine mercenaries. We know who they are, but we won't say their names. But we gotta talk about a couple of things because the title of this stream is taking the IBMOR out of BGS. Why they celebrate Kevin Samuels but overlook Kevin Samuels' daughter that he abused. We're gonna talk about that. So I see Blackmail first. I see Dwayne in the building. I see Neon Eyes in the building. Hearts to her. Who else we got in the chat? We got Agent 245. Hold on, let me get this out of the way real quick. I don't know why it's highlighting everything. There we go. Let's see who's in the chat real quick. We got another kid. We got Beasley. We got Beasley in the house. I said Dwayne. We got Mac 10 JR. We got 65 people watching. I need 65 people. I need 65 people to hit the like button. Hit the Cash App. We are about to cook today. Let me just set my scoreboard real quick. Let me just set my scoreboard real quick. We are still trying to beat the total from last live stream show. But we got a lot to talk about today. So where do we start here? I guess Kevin Samuels, he blew up. He went to the No Jumper. He was on the Roommates. And he went to the Joe Budden. Then he went to Vlad TV. And as he got closer to 1 million subscribers, I seen he was itching a little bit closer to 1 million as Blackmail first says GM2. Who was the other one who cooked him besides AM? That would be Sheep Stay Sleep. It was Sheep Stay Sleep who gave his 2 cents in and he cooked them. But I find it real funny that these so-called masculine mercenaries, back in 2020, 2019, 2018, they were sons of BGS IBMOR. We're going to talk about the whole YouTube sons and everything, but as Kevin Samuels was approaching 1 million subscribers, you had another of Blackmail content creators in this space. They were like this. Breaking news, Kevin Samuels, he's approaching 1 million subscribers. We're going to do a live show. We're going to follow the count for Kevin Samuels as he gets to 1 million subscribers. Right now he stands at 999,988 subscribers. He's only 12 subscribers away. This is big for the manosphere. This is big for the manosphere. A big moment. The Godfather is getting to 1 million. So I'm going to pass it off to Edward Anderson. He's going to continue the coverage for Kevin Samuels reaching 1 million subscribers. You had all these content creators doing news broadcasts of another man's subscriber count. I'm sorry about the camera. I guess I bought this really expensive camera more for broadcasting sports, but my other camera is not. I don't like that camera because it never works when it's supposed to work. So I'm using this camera. Unfortunately, it likes to shut the lens and then open the lens at random times. But we're gonna keep going with the show. So you had all these YouTubers, celebrating Kevin Samuels reaching 1 million subscribers. And I'm gonna play BGS's video real quick. I probably won't play all, but we're gonna listen to key points. I'm gonna break down to you what's been happening in the manosphere. So without further ado, let's see if we could bring BGS IBMOR to the table real quick. Let's see if we could bring BGS IBMOR up real quick, because we got a whole lot to talk about right here. Let's let BGS IBMOR take it away. Black Mill first says it wasn't that serious, it was inevitable, but let's let BGS IBMOR take it away.
Condemn me, set the dogs on me, because that's what I deserve.
Godfather, the image guy, Saint Kevin Samuels. There's lots of names for him, but I like to call him friend. And I've said this before, I have a deep amount of gratitude toward Kevin. People say that, oh man, you should, want to pop your collar because you helped put Kevin on, blah, blah, blah. You know what? No. You know what? Like I said, I've always said that Kevin did me the favor because he took on a task that I couldn't do. And thing is...
Let's stop it right here because I think I skipped over the very important part.
Sometimes I think I did. People deserve more.
I just want to jump on here and congratulate my boy. Stop
the show right there. He said he wanted to congratulate his boy. Now, from what I understand, Kevin Samuels is a 52-year-old grown-ass man. But we got BGS IBMOR up here talking about his boy as if Kevin Samuels is his son. And when I look at the landscape of the black manosphere, it hit me like a sack of bricks. I see a lot of content creators in this space who are failed fathers. We just had Father's Day a couple of weeks ago, but we have all these black male content creators, failed fathers. They got single mothers, daughters on Instagram busting it wide open. They got sons with multiple baby mamas up to their noses in child support. And if we look at the history of one BGS IBMOR, according to him, he has a son who could have played in the NBA but squandered his opportunity and now is just an average Negro. But there's something you won't hear these content creators say. They celebrate Kevin Samuels as if he's their son, but these so-called introspective black men of reform, you will never see them get on YouTube and tell how proud they are of their own sons that they raise. Let me say it one more time. They are. I only know two content creators. I only know two content creators in this space, and those content creators claim not to be of the black manosphere. They're more associates of it. Those two content creators, from what I've seen, are George Macon and Taz Exclusive. Taz has a son who's on a scholarship playing sports in college, and George Macon, he got his sons doing things over there going to college as well. But for all these so-called, especially these IBMORs introspective black men of reform, there is not one video of them celebrating their own sons for an accomplishment, no matter how big or small, that they will put on YouTube and share to the world to try to infect change on the black male image. But these Negroes will get on panels with other Negroes, as we seen with BGS IBMOR. I mean, he's bigging up one son, Kevin Samuels. You know, he even has another son by the name Art of IBMOR, son of BGS IBMOR. They will have the same last name. You know, BGS IBMOR handed off the Friday Night Coliseum show over to Art of IBMOR. So you'll see BGS over there, you know, sunning all of these niggas on the panel. You'll see BGS IBMOR on the Roger Report, sunning all these niggas on the panel. When he had his panel, he would try to sun niggas on his panel. We seen Obsidian son Bernard Riley. We seen Kevin Samuels son niggas. We even seen the Angry Man himself create the Black Order and then the masculine mercenaries, and he tried to son niggas as well. But these so-called black fathers, you will never see them do a video celebrating the accomplishments of their own sons. But they have no problem celebrating the accomplishments of their YouTube sons. So we got BGS IBMOR on this video. We got BGS IBMOR on this video right here. See, Penny Sparks says, GMT, you got a 10. You've been having fun in the sun. Now I just gotta play with the camera settings. That's all. Somebody says, Edward, it says most loyal son on you. Yeah, these dudes literally have YouTube sons. So you're gonna watch a YouTube father celebrate his YouTube son getting 1 million subscribers. Be sure to hit that like button on the way in. But let's get back to this video real quick.
Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, the image guy, you know.
Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, because even Kevin Samuels has sons.
Saint Kevin Samuels. There's lots of names for him, but you know, I like to call him friend. And I've said this before, I have a deep amount of gratitude toward Kevin. It's, you know, people say that, oh man, you should, you know, want to pop your collar because you'll put Kevin on, blah, blah, blah. You know what? No. You know what? Like I said, I've always said that Kevin did me the favor because he took on a task that I couldn't do. And thing is, he literally turned lead into gold, because 4 years ago, the task that he took on was lead, and he worked very hard, extremely hard, and took a lot of care and compassion to actually do this task and actually turn those guys from, I wouldn't say unwanted, but least wanted, to have value. And that's something that I...
What? I'm trying to figure out, who did Kevin Samuels turn into a high value man? I'm just trying to say, who did he turn into a high value man? As we have 3 Industry coming through with a $10 Cash App salute. If I see you in the chat and you don't have a wrench, I will try to wrench you up. Just at me so I know exactly who you are. But I'm trying to figure out, who did Kevin Samuels make high value? I mean, who did Kevin Samuels give 6 figures to over a 5-year span. I mean, he only been in this space for about 3 years, so who has he made high value? Where are these network of men that BGS IBMOR is talking about if he's made somebody high value? Let's get back to the nonsense. Let's get back to the nonsense. Let's get back to the Kevin Samuels Johnson writing.
Could not have done, and I just want to commend him. So, people have come at me with saying that I am a riding Kevin Samuels jock and I defend him too much. But even when Kevin, wasn't like this, when Kevin didn't have, but like 20 or 30,000 subs, I defended him back then. You can go back and look in the archive in defense of Kevin Samuels. That was a long time ago. Well,
I gotta ask you, BGS IBMOR. I gotta ask you, BGS IBMOR. You defended this man when he had 1 million, when he had 500,000, 250,000, 750,000, 500,000, 100,000, 80,000, 10,000, 20, 30,000. You've been defending him all this time. Since Kevin Samuels been on YouTube, BGS, have you ever made a video critiquing him on something that he can approve upon? I mean, this is very important because as we switch over for a second, let's go ahead and switch over to this right here. We got the IBMORs right here on Wikipedia. And it breaks down everything IBMOR. It says, as I read it, introspective black men of reform, IBMOR, are black men who are dedicated to self-study and self-improvement with the goal of eventual removal of both white supremacy and black matriarchy in the black community. They believe in the necessity of a black patriarchy. IBMOR is not an incel community as they do not self-identify and are not politically orientated. But then when we go to the tenets that the IBMORs are supposed to live by, it says there's about, how many tenets are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 tenets. And we're gonna read these tenets. It says, we believe in heterosexual black man leadership. We understand that females are only here for sex and reproduction. Females should never be given authority in society over men in any way. Men should never cater to women in any way. Let's go ahead and stop that show right there because we gotta break down some of it. We gotta break down that tenet. It says females should never be given authority in society over men in any way, and men should never cater to women in any way. BGS IBMOR. You said it for the longest, BGS IBMOR. You said you wanted to go back to the negotiating table with these women to work out, hash out a new deal because according to you, women don't have their act together. But BGS IBMOR, if you are truly an IBMOR, which you're not, obviously, because we're going to break down why the IBMOR should be taken away from you. You should just be known as Black Gnostic Speak because you are not an IBMOR. You are clearly not an IBMOR. But if you are negotiating with females, with women to work out a new deal because they aren't acting right, isn't that not catering to women as it says right here? Let's read the rest of the tenets. It says, we believe in brotherhood of heterosexual black men who recognize the problem of Caucasian supremacy and matriarchy. Through this brotherhood, we will eventually secure land, declare a nation, and build a technological advanced military to defend that nation. BGS IBMOR. BGS IBMOR. You have been in IBMOR for a number of years. The brothers want to know. The brothers want to know. Where is this secure land? What nation have you declared? What technology have you built? What technology have you built? But more importantly, where the hell is the army? That's two tenets, BGS IBMOR, you haven't lived up to. Let's go to the third tenet. We believe in strengthening ourselves mentally, physically, and financially. This requires that we increase our knowledge, maintain regular exercise, consume mostly organic foods, and avoid any addictive, man-made, or natural substance. We also believe in turning paper money into tangible resources, gold, silver, diamonds, etc. BGS IBMOR. We want to know where the hell is the money, because the angry man said you was broke. So we just want to know all that paper money that you've been making for the 60 years that you've been on Earth. Where are the fruits of the labor? Where are the resources? The people just want to know, have you been living up to the tenets of the IBMOR? And right now, you look highly suspect. You look highly suspect right now. But we go to number 4. We do not believe in obtaining a marriage license or common law marriage within this current gynocentric system of Caucasian supremacy. A marriage license or living with a female is not needed if a man wants to commit to one or more females. His word of loyalty is sufficient. BGS IBMOR, you have 4 kids with a woman that you say that you married. Did you have a marriage license? The people just want to know, because if you did, well then again, you aren't living up to the tenets of being an IBMOR. And then it says 1 or more females, and the word of loyalty is sufficient. But according to you, you're a MGTOW monk. But I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next tenet, because you just not living up to these IBMOR tenets. Next one says, we know that the illusion of submission is the best that a female can offer a man under this gynocentric system of Caucasian supremacy. A female is only truly submissive when society doesn't give her a choice. Stop the show right there, because you want to go back to the negotiating table with these women, BGS IBMOR. Am I not correct? You want to negotiate with these women. Well, according to this tenet, if y'all do work out some sort of deal in which these so-called high-value men could get with these post-wall strags, as the angry man likes to say, isn't that the illusion of submission, BGS IBMOR? And is it true that this society gives women a choice, so a female cannot be truly submissive now, BGS IBMOR? You see, you fall so short of all of these tenets, BGS IBMOR, and I'm coming for that IBMOR name, because you got a lot of Negroes fooled in this space. Next tenet is Will Clinton says, good to see you safe, GMT. We got 115 people watching. It seems to me that your boy BGS IBMOR isn't living up to any of these tenets. But there's 3 more. We believe that homosexuality and lesbianism represent the death of people because no children are produced out of such unions, and bisexuality causes instability in society. BGS IBMOR, we got a question to ask you, because your boy Kevin Samuels, he went on Vlad TV. And when he went on Vlad TV, Vlad asked Kevin Samuels about the nigga in the pallet. Shout out to Thai City. And when Vlad TV asked Kevin Samuels about the nigga in the pallet, the first thing your YouTube son did was shame and call out the alphabet community for not defending them. But when I'm reading these tenets, it says we believe that homosexuality and lesbian represent the death of people. Why would your YouTube son call out to a group of people that the IBMOR tenet says represent the death of people? BGS IBMOR? It's just not adding up. And as I'm going through all these tenets, I'm going to go ahead and read the last 2. We do not believe in arguing with females. Let me read that again. We do not believe in arguing with females. This space is built on arguing with females. Kevin Samuels' channel is built on arguing with females. BGS for Women channel was built on arguing with females. Women feel the world. They don't think the world, so you cannot change a female's minds by way of entities or logical argumentation. The only action that will change a female's mind is force. Denying a woman your attention is the most effective way to deal with females in the current gynocentric system of Caucasian supremacy. BGS IBMOR, your boy Kevin Samuels gives these post-wall strags all of this intention, but the IBMOR tenet says denying a woman your attention is the most effective way to deal with them in this gynocentric society. How are these Negroes not living up to the definition that is in their name? Then the last one says, as far as interracial relationships are concerned, you can have sex with females of another race, but after you become IBMOR, you can no longer produce with non-black females. Doing so weakens our genetic code. Wow, was it BGS IBMOR when SYSBM was hot and dudes was talking about getting a non-black wife, creating a family with non-BWs? That was something that BGS IBMOR supported. Ladies and gentlemen, I read to you all 8 tenets of what it is to be an IBMOR. BGS IBMOR does not follow any of the tenets set forth by the IBMOR dynasty, how in the hell can you call him BGS IBMOR? It doesn't make not one iota of sense for him to have that name. We are signing papers. We are passing law. We are writing into law, into the constitution of the black manosphere, that BGS will no longer be referred to as an IBMOR because he is not an IBMOR. And now he has YouTube sons, and some have even taken the name IBMOR. You have the art of IBMOR, the way of IBMOR. All these other YouTube sons who got IBMOR in their name, all you gotta do is type it into YouTube. You be able to find them, and they all are learning from a man who claims to be an IBMOR, but he doesn't live his life as an IBMOR on YouTube or off of YouTube. This is why they don't like me doxing them. This is why they don't want you to watch me. This is why they won't put me on their panels, because they know I'm going to pull up the information and I'm going to ask them the hard questions. BGS IBMOR, he been in this chat room before. I know he's watching. I got 117 people watching me. After 10 o'clock, it's midnight somewhere. I didn't even live stream the past 2-3 weeks. We still getting over 100. But now we gotta talk about the second part, because they was celebrating Kevin Samuels. I mean, just celebrate. I'm gonna play a little bit more BGS IBMOR celebrating his son Kevin Samuels.
Well, before, it was Kevin Samuels, the superstar, because I knew the talent that he had and the mission that he had, and I knew that he's the one that could actually pull it off. I've always said I have a good eye for talent and a good eye for people and a good eye for what people can do. And when I first saw him, the very first time I saw him, he came into the manosphere. I said, okay, he's the one. He's the one for this mission. And I said,
So, wait a minute. You mean out of all the Negroes in the space, when Kevin Samuels showed his ashy ass up on O'Shea's platform, you knew right then, out of all the Negroes, he was the one Negro that could fulfill the mission. I want to know. What the hell is the mission? I thought the mission was the upliftment of black men. But if you get these black men with these post-war strags and they enter into dysfunctional relationships because the women that you're pairing them up with are built, prepared, and poisoned with the gynocentric society, you're not going to have positive relationships. So I want to know, BGS IBMOR, what the hell is the mission? Jerome Whiteside says Angry Man is mad at BGS because it took him out of the founding fathers of the black manosphere. That's right. You see, when you go over to the art of IBMOR, when you go over to the Roger Report, when you go over to Edward Anderson's channel, those is BGS's sons in the panel and on the chat room. Angry Man, he tried to bring his Muppet ass over because he want to steal some of them YouTube subs, but BGS IBMOR got his hooks in them so far that Angry Man can't even pry him away. So you watch all these Negroes fight. You watch Angry Man fight with Cerulean Grey because Cerulean Grey created the Grey regime. And he was able to get some YouTube sons that were once Angry Man's sons. You watch O'Shea have his sons and the Angry Man fight over those sons. And then Kevin Samuels, when he was talking to the man, he had sons. But I want to know. Because IBMOR, it says it right here. Let's see if I can pull it up. Let's see if I could go back to this right here. It says, introspective black men of reform are black men who are dedicated to the self-study and self-improvement. I found it interesting that not too long ago, your son, BGS IBMOR, Kevin Samuels, he had Men's Week. He had Men's Week the other day, and we got all these content creators who say they're for black men, this, that, and the third. They was all in there watching because after the black man, after the BMs who got on that panel during Men's Week and they wet the bed and they showed that they weren't of high quality yet. All these dudes who claim to be for the men when it was Men's Week with 25,000 live viewers watching, the so-called introspective black men of reform was nowhere to be found. The Thanos of YouTube was nowhere to be found when it was Men's Week, where the men were supposed to show and prove and show some work and uplift each other. Grown Man Business wasn't there. Black Ram wasn't there. Angry Man wasn't there. BGS IBMOR wasn't there. Pick your favorite black content creator in this space, Obsidian Bernard Riley, who claimed that they're for black men when it was Black Men's Week on the #1 channel in YouTube in this sector. They were absent. Explain that to me. Especially when the link is in the chat for everybody to hit. And all them niggas was absent. Missing in action. We need to file an APB on these niggas because they was absent during Men's Week on the biggest channel. I had to sit up there and watch Kevin Samuels talking about you can only be up here if you disagree with me on Men's Week. What? What? Then I had to watch black men who were so flustered. We had one brother, bald head, black tee, gold Rick Ross chain, couldn't even formulate a goddamn sentence. And then you had Edward Anderson's twin brother up there. You had Edward Anderson's twin brother up there, sweeter than Kevin Samuels himself. Bending his wrist, twitching his neck, taking off his glasses. Well, Kevin, you're just too hard on the women. This was Black Men's Week. All of the big content creators in this space absent. But when the stream was over, they all had something to say. That Negro Pookie Jenkins says, not our finest hour. Taz exclusive says they wasn't invited, fam. He said it was all cap. He put the Zoom link in the chat. All they had to do was click it. And I'm pretty sure if they would have clicked it and put their YouTube names, Angry Man, BGS, IBMOR, Obsidian, whoever it was, Kevin Samuels would have brought them on off the strength and respect of their name and what they did for the space. But when the stream was over, people had a whole lot to talk about. The big failures of Men's Week. So I'm still trying to figure out BGS. What is all this celebration about? Because the dude got 1 million subscribers.
Kevin, I have a mission for you if you decide to accept it. Just like
Tell me the mission.
Ethan Hunt, if you decide to accept it, and he did. And it was an impossible mission, and he did it. And not only did he do it, get it accomplished, get those guys up and polished into exceptional people, but on top of that, the brother made some money, okay? The brother made $1 million off of it, which is it's like a moonshot. And if you go back in the archives, man, 4 years ago, nobody would have told you that, number one, Kevin could turn these guys around, and number two, could make money from it. And number three, go mainstream. Nobody saw it. And I wish I could have said I could have seen it. I knew he could turn these guys around. I knew he could polish them up. But where he took it, nobody could have seen it. Maybe Kevin did. You know, Kevin has supreme confidence in himself. I know he does. And maybe he did see it. I can't say that he didn't. If he did, he's the only one. And
I'm still, where are these so-called polished men at? Only thing I saw was a bunch of scam reports on Yelp reviews about how all these BMs got scammed out of money and how they got upsold when they flew out there for men's in training. I'm trying to figure out who are these men. You gotta start giving me names, BGS IBMOR. Who got polished up? Are we talking about Dennis Sperling? Are we still pulling Dennis Sperling out of your ass? I mean, who are these men that Kevin Samuels helped? Who are they? I just want to know.
And you can say what you want. It bore fruit. He turned lead into gold. You know, he became the Philosopher's Stone, which is why he's so popular. It's not just what he does online. Yeah, he's entertaining. And he can be a lightning rod. And yeah, he follows the principles, but it takes a singular talent to do this. This didn't come out of nowhere. And all I can say is, if you're listening to this, Kevin, you know I'm proud of you. And you know I always say, get your money, man. So
he said, Kevin Samuels, if you listen to this, Kevin Samuels, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I don't know about y'all, but I never heard BGS talk about how proud he was. I never heard BGS say how proud that he was of his biological sons. But a Negro gets to 1 million subscribers. He did a video, almost break down crying, talking about how proud he was. I believe we have a $20 PayPal from the Negro Pookie Jenkins. Let me see if I'm right. Yep, it's right. Salute to the Negro Pookie Jenkins for coming through. But these dudes, they be so proud of Kevin Samuels. You know, he made $1 million. You know, he's making all this money. Well, there was a story that broke. And it's a story that nobody in the manosphere is talking about. You know, I touched on it when I was going through my court papers of the Kevin Samuels divorce hearings, child support hearings, and all that. And there was a section that mentioned child abuse. You know, so well, since I didn't have, a victim that I could present it to the people, I just kind of, I said, here's something with child abuse. I don't know. It's an allegation. I won't speak on it. Well, little did I know, I was on YouTube and I was surfing and something popped up in my recommendeds. Let's see if I can back this up real quick so I can show the video. Will it back up for me?
Oh, this video.
Okay, so here's the video right here. Let's see if I can pull up this video right here. So this video, as you can see, is titled Kevin Samuels' Daughter Speaks Out Emotional and Physical Abuse as a Child. Now, why is this important right here? And why did this get overlooked in the manosphere? Well, I tell you why it got overlooked in the manosphere. Because you got a bunch of fathers in this space who really ain't good fathers. They tried to duck responsibility. They've been on child support and the mother had full custody. They was out ripping and running in the streets. Or they were just flat out unavailable physically and emotionally. But I'm going to let Kevin Samuels' daughter speak about the abuse she suffered at the hands of Kevin Samuels so you can hear it yourself. You gotta hear the abuse yourself and what she had to go through. But more importantly, when you look at the thumbnail and you listen to how this girl talks, it's obvious that this is Kevin Samuels' daughter. But I'm going to let her explain her story. I'm going to let her tell her truth.
Is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a very, very, very long time. Especially when I was like really at the peak of my career in network marketing, because you get so many people who talk to you about their problems, their life issues, going through depression and anxiety and just all around just life. And it's always been that thing where I just felt like I could not talk about because I was really just putting other people before myself. I was trying to protect the image of my dad. Not just because he is a figure in the community and that far.
Stop the show right there. You see the picture. You see the resemblance. See if I can get my camera to work. I'm frozen all of a sudden. You see the resemblance right here. You see, I got Aaron B talking about whose daughter it. You know whose daughter it is right here. You see it. Network marketing herself, but she felt she had to defend the image of her father because her father is out here taking arrows. Everybody out here is defending Kevin Samuels. I want to know, who is Kevin Samuels defending? Who is Kevin Samuels defending? Does he defend his daughter? Go ahead and tell your truth.
But what I do always remember is that I always felt like I was second. I always felt like I didn't matter. See, look, I'm about to cry. And I told myself I'm not gonna cry about like me and my dad not having a relationship anymore, but just talking about some of the things that have affected. My dad was physically there, but he was never mentally or emotionally there. And that is an issue within itself. I'm not going to talk about how my dad grew up because I have no idea. Every time I've tried to talk to him to get him to open up so that I can understand him, he just made jokes. Like, I remember a couple of months ago, I was like, Dad, you know, did you ever deal with any traumas growing up like that made you who you are? And he was like, well, you know, that one time your Uncle D, he stuck me with a diaper pin when he was changing my diaper when I was like 2. Like, he just takes things as jokes. I don't know if it's because, as how most men are, they don't like to open up. I don't know. I really don't care. Because I just feel like what you deal with growing up, you have the ability to decide how you're going to use that. You can use it to hurt people, or you can use it to say, you know what, I don't want to instill that in the people in my life. And you just keep it moving. So I primarily spent a lot of time at my dad's mother's house growing up because my sister didn't like going over there. She hated it. And I loved it because not only did I just absolutely love my grandmother and her husband, but because I was the only one there, I always got the attention there that I did not get at home. So I felt loved. I felt all of that. And when my grandmother died when I was 10 years old, I just became really depressed. For 9 years, I dealt with depression. I dealt with a lot of anxiety. I used to have panic attacks like in my sleep, waking up, just feeling like I couldn't breathe. And it just was really bad because I had to watch her disintegrate, like literally. She had pancreatic cancer and she died about 2.5 years after she was diagnosed. So it wasn't anything fast. And I think sometimes the slower deaths are just as bad as the fast ones because you literally watch somebody get really, really bad. I became suicidal because I just felt like the one person that I never had to question their love for me was gone. Yeah, I just always felt like I was second. One of the things that my dad used to do that really bothered me, and he actually laughed about it in Sunday's incident and basically kind of threw his hands up as if it was like, whatever, like that's what, and he literally said, that's what you're mad about. I remember growing up, he grabbed me by my hair, and in the midst of doing that, threw my head up against the car window.
Let's stop the show. Let's stop the show right there. I'm hearing people in the chat. I'm reading them. Shit, no, it's fake. She an actor. She not using family's names, even though she clearly said Uncle D. She talked about her grandma that passed away and how important her grandma is. But as I was playing, your boy Kevin Samuels grabbed his own daughter by the hair. Let me rewind it because I want the black manosphere to hear this.
Grabbed me by my hair, and in the midst of doing that, threw my head up against the car window. And in the midst of doing that, threw my head up against the car window. In the midst of doing that, threw my head up against the car window.
So your boy Kevin Samuels grabbed his daughter by the hair and threw her head up against the car window. But you won't hear BGS IBMOR talk about this. You won't hear O'Shea talk about this. You won't hear Kevin Samuels Defense Force talk about this. You won't hear Solo TV 84 whom declared the term protect Kevin at all costs talk about this. As Bill Gino says, facts defend his daughter at all costs. You won't hear none of these Negroes even address the accusation in a fair and balanced way. See, the one thing with GMT, if Kevin Samuels do something good, I give him his credit. He got 1 million subscribers, I gave him his credit. He making money, building a successful brand for himself, I give him credit. But when he got niggas and pallets, when he calling on the LGBTQ, the alphabet community to defend them, when he taking pictures in his mother's shower curtains draped around his shoulders and he twirling and taking pictures, when he asking dudes how big their eggplant is, I'm gonna critique him on the fuck shit as well as give him credit for the good that he does. But Negroes like BGS IBMOR and others, they will overlook. They even overlooked about Kevin Samuels lying about a college degree. Even though they said how important a college degree was and the credibility and how it boosts one's image, and they gave props to every dude in the space who had degrees and PhDs, they gave Kevin Samuels credit because Kevin Samuels told everybody in the space he had a college degree. But when it came out on Vlad TV that he didn't have a college degree, those same Kevin Samuels defenders was nowhere to be found. We just want to know, when are you going to hold Kevin Samuels accountable? When are you going to critique a Kevin Samuels? Let me go ahead and rewind this one more again, because I really want the manosphere to hear this, because I didn't see anybody in the manosphere talk about this, and this video is a month old.
What you're mad about? I remember growing up, he grabbed me by my hair, and in the midst of doing that, threw my head up against the car window.
So BGS IBMOR, as I see Rollo and Rudet in the building, I see Jalen in the building, but I just want to know, when is it okay to grab your daughter by the hair and throw her head up against the car window? I need somebody to write me in the chat. When is it okay to grab your daughter by the hair and throw it up against a car window?
And I just remember thinking to myself, what did I do wrong? And you're talking about somebody, I didn't even get whoopings, I didn't get punishment, I didn't get grounded, I didn't get any of that. Because I was a good kid. I had a smart mouth sometimes. Because I was just too smart for my own good, but I was a good kid. So to not even get whoopings and to have something like that happen was really traumatic. And I remember when we got home, when I got out the car, he threw me up against the car. Probably one of the reasons why I have a bad back. My back is horrible.
Then after they got up out the car, he then took his daughter and threw his daughter against the car, and she has back pain up until this day.
And that was that. I just remember hating him and feeling like the person that's supposed to protect me is not.
So I guess there's supposed to be a part 2 coming to this interview. Let me read through the chat. Now we got people saying it's fake. They said they found some fake pictures during reverse look. See, that's all fair because at least if that is true that this is all fake, we could at least see a BGS IBMOR and dudes in the manosphere at least say we understand, we do take child abuse seriously. However, in this situation, here are the pictures. We reverse looked them up. They're fake. This isn't the real person. And we could all move forward and say that this is a fake and they're trying to paint this narrative of Kevin Samuels as a bad guy. You see how easy it is to be fair and balanced? But when it comes to Kevin Samuels, this is the rhetoric for Kevin Samuels from these guys.
And again, it's one of those things where, as always, I've told you this before, I owe you a deep debt of gratitude for what you've done for me. And it's not about money. It's not about fame, not popularity or sub count, okay? Because he didn't do that for me. But what he did do is something I couldn't do for myself, which is turn a group of subs that I have around and make them into something that they want to be, to where they're actually happy and thriving. And no amount of money could have done that. I couldn't have paid him enough money to do it. But I'm so glad other people are paying him to do it.
you see what I mean? Oh, let me back that up, man. There's so much to break down right there.
But what he did do is something I couldn't do for myself.
He did something that BGS couldn't do for himself.
Which is turn a group of subs that I have around and make them into something that they want to be, to where they're actually.
He took BGS subscribers and turned them into men. That's what BGS IBMOR is trying to say. He turned BGS subscribers into men. We got Zaddy's own says BGS down on both knees, blessing the gag fodder. That's funny. He turned BGS subscribers into men.
Happy and thriving. And no amount of money could have done that. I couldn't have paid him enough money to do it. But I'm so glad other people are paying him to do it. I was just on Black Man Being Brutally Honest, and we're talking about Kevin Samuels and his 1 million subscribers. And they were saying about how he got where he got, and all kinds of theories. And I basically gave him a rundown about the circumstance of which all this came about. And trust and believe, it's fortunate, right? Took a lot of things to come together. The circumstances, a little luck, and being in the right place at the right time. It all happened. And people said, if it hadn't been for the video, average at best, that put him in the spotlight. And it did. That's what got the ball rolling. But I reminded them that if it wasn't for his work with these men and the mix and him turning these men into high value men, and that COVID happened that made these men extra valuable, that average at best would have never happened, because she would have never been on that show, and these women would have never been calling into him, and all the other stuff. The high value men did not come out of nowhere. They didn't just.
We gotta stop the show right there, because when that whole average at best happened, Kevin Samuels was already getting 5,000 live viewers. He already had a bunch of shows before that where a bunch of women were calling in and trying to solicit dating advice from him or arguing with him. But now, since Kevin Samuels turned BGS subscribers into men, they can now, according to this tenant right here, they can now cater to women. They can now cater to women. Somebody, Organic Black says too much rambling.
Sign up one day.
Let's listen to more rambling right here.
Kevin put a lot of hard work into these guys. Those are his guys. No, he put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. He told me he took extra classes to learn how to deal with certain issues that these high value men have. I'm not going to say what they were. I'm not going to say what...
BGS IBMOR, if you're an introspective black man of reform who's about self-study and self-improvement, and Kevin Samuels took these classes in which he was able to help thousands of your subscribers, would it not behoove you to build on that IBMOR dynasty and say the classes that he took so another Kevin Samuels could be made? The truth is, BGS IBMOR, there was no class that Kevin Samuels took to help black men get post-wall strags on the Facebook mixed group? Who you fooling, BGS IBMOR? Let me back that up and hear.
He took extra classes to learn how to deal with certain issues that these high value men have. I'm not going to say what they were. I'm not going to say what they were because it's something he told me. But the thing is, I know it's not just hard work. It's not just the money that came in. He took this personally, and Kevin really wanted to take the whole manosphere and put the whole manosphere on his back. He did. I think he stayed up a lot of times, a lot of nights, trying to figure out how to convince the whole manosphere to like, hey, follow me to the promised land. And it bothered him. I could tell that.
What do you mean? Put the black manosphere on his back and take him to the promised land. Is this what we doing right here? We taking them to the promised land where we got Kevin Samuels, we got thousands of BGS subscribers going through the hills with clouds and rainbows, leading black men to the promised land where they met up with Martin Luther King. Is this what we talking about, BGS, where he put the manosphere on his back, even though he said this space wasn't going to survive, it was going to get flagged down, there was no money in it, people should leave it alone? He put the manosphere on his back, BGS IBMOR?
That it bothered him. And we talked about it. And I said, for me, you don't have to do that. For me, my understanding is there's only a certain group of guys, whether it's 10, 15, 20%, maybe 20%, that can make good use of what you have. Everybody can view it. Everybody has access to it, but only 20% need it. In my opinion, those are the guys you need to focus on. And he did. He focused on his core group, which is these particular people. Now, they hated it when he tried to spread his message to the whole group. They were pissed off. Oh, we don't want to hear that. The suit-wearing guy, I don't want to wear a suit. I don't want to put on cologne. I don't want to do this, that, or the other. I don't want to put on these kind of shoes. They used to say that. But when he focused it on the group that needed his help, one things got easier. Two, when he polished these guys up, they became a core group. And then it just so happened when they got polished up, the universe says, okay, at this particular time we have an economy and a close down and a plague that's happening right now, and these women, they need some place to go. And they need a certain group of men to actually carry them through. So all that hard work before this paid off, because when the time came, he was ready. They always say luck favors preparation. Luck favors hard work. Opportunity favors a prepared mind. They tell you this in business. He was prepared, so when the moment came, he was just ready to step in. All he had to do was step in. Everything was already ready. And when he stepped in to the moment carried him. And carried him to the place from where he went from 50,000 to 1 million. And now people are mad. But they were mad at him when he was working 20 hours a day, when he's staying up all night, when he was studying not only manosphere talking points and theories, and
He studied. Come on, B. He studied 20 hours a day watching manosphere content. So he spent 20 hours a day studying manosphere content, and he spent the other 4 hours giving image advice and doing men's in training, huh? 20 hours a day watching men. That's funny.
And weaving that into his own philosophy. No, because he already had the brand, he already had the clothing, and he always the perfume and the cologne and the shoes and stuff like that. He already had the style, he already had the polish, but also he studied to bring in the substance along with the polish.
He didn't have, when he first came in, he didn't have the polish. He would stutter over his words. His setup wasn't right. It took him a while to get polished. In fact, he had to collab with guys like Minister Jap and Angry Man and other folks who helped him with his setup and get polished. He didn't come into the space polished. He was unpolished. In fact, you can even make the argument now that he's unpolished, because when he goes on Vlad TV, when he went on Tasha K, you can still see the uncomfortableness in him, BGS IBMOR.
And when he stepped into it, he was ready. And when the arrows came at him, he was invincible. It's like on the women.
When the arrows came, when people started calling him gay, he brought on Dr. T. Hassan Johnson and played victim. When people called him gay on Vlad TV, he said the alphabet community was on the clock, so he didn't take the arrows. When people was using his content, he would go on live stream and say, well, if you're using my content, I'm going to take down your videos. And those same people who was using his content, not only did they not only keep using his content is still up. So he didn't take any arrows, BGS.
Are upset. It's like when the men are upset. You can't tell him anything. Why? Because he's already been through this. He's already been battle tested. The metal has already been hardened. He's like Thanos with all the stones.
He hasn't been battle tested because he doesn't engage in any beef. So he hasn't even been in a so-called YouTube fight yet because he runs from confrontation.
And people are upset. So now he's become the juggernaut. He's become that person that's unstoppable. People think just because it's down the hill and the boulder's rolling over everything that's in its path, but they didn't see way up the top when that boulder was a little pebble as it was gaining momentum coming down the hill. Now it's unstoppable. It's too late. So congratulations on your millionth subscriber. Hope you get 1 million more. I hope that the car keeps rolling. The Kevin Samuels mobile keeps rolling right along. And if it does it, man, like I always told you, you ride it till the wheels fall off. So keep your pedal to the metal, because just like, fame is fleeting. And when fame is over, you want to get your reward. And there's a reason that I am so happy for you. Like Batman said in The Dark Knight, that a quote that I love: sometimes faith isn't good enough. Sometimes people need more. Sometimes people need to have their faith rewarded. And that's the reason I am so happy that he got his 1 million subscriber. That's the reason I am so happy that he's making the money that he truly deserves, because he needed to have his faith in me rewarded. And so it is. With that, I'm going to jump off here. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys.
Oh, man, that... oh, man, the amount of Johnson writing and doorknob sucking that video was, I cannot believe it. But hey, my camera's out. I'm getting ready to go. It appears that we didn't meet our total, so we're gonna work some more. I'm gonna try and go live tomorrow. GMT making this 10-minute thank you seems like a Baptist church sermon. But I'm getting ready to close out. BGS wants Kevin Samuels to shout him out now. I mean, the amount of Johnson running, the amount of hypocrisy. I mean, BGS, IBMOR, you gotta at least follow at least one of the tenets. You just can't abandon all of them. But y'all know who it is. It's your boy,